Today I'm going to be talking about some possible predictors of organizational citizenship behavior. Our starting point was initially mindfulness, and then because we developed the scale on Oneness behaviors, we thought that would be also easier. I'm going to explain to you one by one what I mean, but in general this is something that shed lights onto some possible blind spots concerning OCB literature. Since the definition by organ, the researchers were trying to explain why people help other people. And in our research, our focus is mainly on the helping aspect. So we are considering the courtesy and the altruism dimensions of OCB. You know, there are 5 dimensions: sportsmanship, civic virtue, and others, and being gentle to others. So we're considering just the courtesy and altruism dimensions here. So the original, if we go back to the original definition and where the study documents of organizational citizenship, Chester Darman, back in 1938, he talks about something called willingness to cooperate. So people who are wanting to help others, there is something like a deep-rooted motivation there that might be related to willingness to cooperate with other people. And also, like Daniel has innovative and spontaneous behaviors, and organs behaviors rather than natural personal traits. So we see that there are some personal attributions to the explanation of this behavior, but up until now, we see a lot of explanations regarding mostly related to social exchange. So if I actually invest in this person in the organization as an employee, I know the employee will get it back to me. That's understandable given the contextual importance in the organizations. But we wanted to find out whether there are some personal underpinnings here. So we wanted to understand in this kind of helping behavior, apart from the social exchange that's happening between people, could there be something from the individual, him or herself? Okay? And again, when we talk about the self-concept, we talk about individuals' beliefs, attitudes, attributes, social roles, goals about themselves. So we can think about so many things. We talk about personalities of individuals, so when we look at the self-concept, the discussion could go very far. But again, if you want to boil this down into something which is specific, we thought that there could be some mechanisms which are quite popular today, like mindfulness. Mindfulness is the present moment of awareness, usually in a non-judgmental state. That's originally coined by Brown and Ryan in 2003, and they developed a scale on mindfulness, and they actually define this as a state, but also sometimes as a dispositional trait that people could be mindful, even as a trait. So, and people, when they're mindful, there is a certain understanding of the environment which is quite not separate from the person him or herself. If you go deep into meditation practice, if you go deep into mindfulness, you can see lots of things related to you. You don't see yourself as separate from other people. So we believe mindfulness could be a mechanism that actually could serve as an antecedent to seeing others as not separate, but also could result in some kind of helping behavior towards other people. And the other is the oneness concept. It goes very far into even Chinese philosophy. Right now, it's studied deeply by Professor Philip Ivanhoe. He is in Korea right now, working mostly from a philosophical point of view, and he wrote a book called Oneness Hypothesis, published by Columbia University. He talks about this is connection between different beings. It doesn't have to be people to people, individual to individual. It could also be between, me and the tree, or me and the animal, my pet or other animals. So it could be in different ways. Oneness concept is not limited to human connection. It's about being connected to anything and everything outside of you. And then, there are other people that talk about oneness, which is like Malcolm Pollock. He wrote a book called Oneness. And in 2006, he talks about the other is oneness concept, which is reflecting a relational consciousness of interconnectedness with all other beings around us that shapes our actions with the wholeness perspective. So similarly, in line with what Ivanhoe says. And again, we thought that mindfulness could serve as a dispositional capacity that could trigger some interconnectedness with other individuals, and then that might end up eventually in OCB. So this is a research model. We mostly concentrated on the, I'll show you William Shaw's model. They actually separated OCB into two. OCB towards the organization versus OCB towards individuals. And OCB towards individuals is basically, as I said, courtesy and altruism. So we started out with this understanding that mindfulness could trigger, oneness in behaviors. And by the way, the oneness behavior is a different concept, but if I can summarize it a bit, it is either behaving according to your own self-interests, then you behave in a, let's say, in an organization or in an environment, in a social environment, or you behave according to considering other people. Okay, so there are two types of behaviors that come out of that scale. But this is our topic is, the whole research, so I'm not going to go deep into that one. We did that in a automation industry with blue-collar workers, and this was they were producing reducers, so for the engines, and they actually filled out questionnaires a week apart, but for the oneness and the citizenship, their peers filled it out for them, and mindfulness were filled out by them. So we did that, and then a total of 325 employees and their co-workers, they provided data, resulting in 281 max surveys, and that's about 86.4 response rate. The mean age was 34.5, male, working in the same company for more than 1 year with an average tenure of 7.56 years. And instruments, we used Brown and Myers 2003 mindful attention awareness scale, Oneness, Askun and Chettin's 2017 Oneness behavior scale, and Organizational Citizenship behavior scale created by Celik-AOM and Duysal Askun in 1990. And these are the results. We found, we did the complementary factor analysis for the scales again, for this population. And then you could see like some of the statistics in terms of means, deviations, and correlations. And you can see that there is a high correlation between OCBI, mindfulness, and oneness, the other oneness, which means the consideration of the other factor. And then you can see when we look at this one, which means self-interest, there is actually no correlation when we look at the OCBI. We use hierarchical linear regression for this. Step one, model one, we entered this model 1, model 2, model 3, and then in the end, we looked at how mindfulness actually goes through oneness towards the individuals and then oneness towards oneself to produce OCBI. And you can see the effect sizes there, and you can see up there p-values. We found significant importance here, which means the importance, the significance of mindfulness decreased significantly when the oneness behavior goes into the picture. Usually in the literature you see personal, they talk about this mindfulness in action concept. I don't know if those of you are interested in mindfulness. They talk about mindfulness without action doesn't necessarily produce some helpful behaviors or doesn't make a change in people's lives. So mindfulness is useful, but if it's not in action, meaning that if you don't put mindfulness into action by doing something extra, by not, let's say, you're mindful in the meditation, but you don't feel you don't behave by the principle of interconnection, then you may not produce healthy behaviors. And you can see mindfulness effect significantly reduced when mindfulness goes into the picture, and yes, behaving according to self-interest, when it goes into the picture, there is a negative correlation. And then when the other goes into the picture, there is also a positive correlation, but here they are all significant. And again, with this study, we could have studied mindfulness effect on OCB directly. There are people doing that. I've seen couple doctorate theses working on the relationship between mindfulness and OCB. That also makes sense because mindfulness also could promote some kind of healthy behavior by itself. But again, we came more from an interconnectedness principle, and we thought that mindfulness could trigger that, and then through interconnection we could produce more helpful behaviors. So ours was more, trying to explain a deeper mechanism going from mindfulness to OCB. And again, we have our limitations, which is that our strength will be, multi-source method, because the questionnaires were also filled out by the peers. And again, the sample size is not bad, but the sample size for the managers was quite small, so we could only include the blue-collar workers. And again, this is from a single company, male participants, so we don't have female population here. And again, future research could benefit from, a better measure. The measure of mindfulness is also being discussed in the literature, like seeing that this measure only captures a portion of mindfulness, and it may not necessarily reflect a dispositional trait. So it could be with a better measure of mindfulness, and obviously using qualitative method would be more helpful in this kind of in-depth analysis. And again, with different organization types, and also, of course, like some cross-cultural comparisons. This was in Turkey. This was done in Turkey, Istanbul, and in workers in a reducer factory. So again, there are a lot of cultural things could be at play in this kind of analysis. So it could be helpful to look at the different cultures and people. But again, when we go back to the original thing of Bernard, there's something about the rethinking here. That's what we wanted to show. We wanted to show that OCB could have roots in the rethinking approach. Of course, our measures were not cognitive-based. The wellness behavior questionnaire mainly is reflecting the behaviors. So it's all about describing the behavior of the individual. So we could have looked at some of the cognitive underpinnings of this. But again, there's a rethinking that could be important. And again, if you want to produce healthy organizations with people having this sense of interconnection and producing positive outcomes, we could promote mindfulness trainings, and also we could promote something like maybe interconnectedness principles. So maybe some trainings, maybe some workshops. It could be, the examples could be more. But again, the otherness, when we consider the other, when we behave, even in this group right now, like if we happen to, let's say, put our bags in every place and say, hey, my friend is going to be here, so I'm actually holding this space. And if you did this for an hour, and this person is standing up, this is actually behaving according to your self-interest. So if people really behave, this could be, the examples could be larger, but if people could behave while considering other people in the environment, it doesn't have to be this, social environment. It could be the whole world, the whole universe. Then I think we could have less climate change, we could have less terrorism, we didn't need to discuss gun control, because we would consider other people, okay? So, to conclude, this is an area in discarded connectedness, and I think, this principle could go a long, in terms of explaining terms that we usually discuss in all the literature, like OCB and other kinds of behaviors, and we thought that this could be a start. Thank you. Any questions?
Do you think your model would change in any way? And if so, how with a different sample? Like, say, a more managerial type sample, if people doing those kind of tasks, would it be any different?
I don't think so. Because the mechanism, because it's so personal, and because managers also need to consider other people in their environment, I think, more than the position, I would probably look at some industrial differences. Because some industries, let's say education industries or like media industries are very different. Corporate world is very different from the university environment, for example. So I think certain people select the environments that they feel really comfortable at. So more than the position, I would probably look at, again, we could put positions as like some kind of intermediate variables there. But again, I think the environment is also important in terms of like people's change of behaviors. And I see that differences from my consulting practice because people in different kinds of work settings behave completely differently. People in, let's say, non-governmental positions, people in, non-profit organizations, they completely different. They completely behave differently because they have a different mindset. Let's talk about the mindset. So, but thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.